But I want to begin tonight by talking about premierships. There are many factors that go into contending for one, and there are many others that you have to get right to win one. The list is endless, and having a bit of luck is absolutely part of it. But outperforming the average in all areas of the sport is a prerequisite. Last night, Kane did a list of players he thought could be the best player in the competition at some stage in their careers, and it included Shea Bolton, who has just signed a new 5-year deal with the Tigers. Out of interest this afternoon, I went back to the 2016 draft just to see exactly where he was taken and who was taken in front of him. It's a really solid draft. Number 1, Andy McGrath, will no doubt be captain of the Bombers at some stage. 2, Tim Taranto. 3, McCluggage. 4, Ben Ainsworth of the Gold Coast. 5, Will Setterfield. Giants, Carlton and now Essendon. Number 6, Sam Petrevski-Seton. Carlton and West Coast. 7, Jack Scrimshaw, Gold Coast and Hawthorn. Amazing how many dual club players there are, and even 3 at this early stage of their career. Griffin Logue is no exception. Number 8, Fremantle and now North. Will Brodie, Gold Coast and Freo. Jack Bowes, Gold Coast and Geelong. 11 is Ollie Florent. Then it's Simpkin. Venables retired with concussion. Harry Perryman at number 14 with the Giants. Jordan Gallucci has been delisted, number 15 with the Crows. Todd Marshall, number 16. Jared Berry, Sam Powell-Pepper, Tim English is at 19. Isaac Cumming, Will Hayward at 21. Jordan Ridley, best and fairest winner of the Bombers, 22. Alex Witherden, number 23. Brisbane and West Coast. Cedric Cox with Brisbane as well. 25 is Ben Long, 2 clubs himself now, finishing up with the Gold Coast. Then there's Brendan Parfitt. I'm still going, folks. I'm looking for him. 27, Zach Fisher. Patrick Lipinski, a good recruit for the Collingwood, started his career at Bulldogs at 28. And finally, folks, there he is. Number 29 is Shea Bolton. Well, to win a premiership, as I said, you have to outperform in a lot of areas. But getting your draft right is absolutely critical, particularly early picks. And this wasn't even a first rounder. We often let recruiters off the hook for missed shots, particularly in the first round. And I reckon some get over-rewarded for picking a gem with their late picks, given they've actually ignored that same pick with their earlier picks who have failed. So nailing Shea Bolton with Richmond's first pick in 2016 is testament to how good they are with their recruiting. And it's one of the reasons the Tigers are a top club and again in line for a flag. Kane, here's your challenge, and I gave you some warning. If you had to go back to the 2016 draft, who is now the top 10 candidates?
Thank you, Gerard, and I did enjoy that phone call when I was driving into work this afternoon because this would have to be one of my favourite topics. I do love looking back and finding those absolute gold nuggets that set up premierships. They honestly do. And that's,
they're like Santa Claus, aren't they? And it's the appropriate time of the year. You can get one who a pick 29 to come out of Santa's sack, and he turned into a 5-year gun for you. Well, log out. What a present.
Gun. Yeah, and you said it. What a pick. What a pick he was. And you know, if you just look at it, you think, oh, he must have been a top 10. But actually, no, he wasn't. And as you said, it's an incredible draft. So I have accepted the challenge. It's not going to please everyone because it was tough. And there was some more gold nuggets deep into this draft. And you had to look with a magnifying glass to find them. I'll start from 10. Josh Dacos at 10 now. He was a father-son, so I'm assuming he would have been selected much higher, but eventually his name was called at 57 for Collingwood, and I know you're a big fan, Gerard. Yep. We discussed him at length in the All-Australian meetings that we had throughout the year. He
arguably the best wingman in the game right now.
Yeah, and I think he's got enormous upside as he spends some more time. Brennan Cox from Fremantle
big
at
fan
number 9. You just don't get key defenders like him on trees. Now, he was pick 41. So there's another bargain. And we'll stay at Fremantle because Sean Darcy's an All-Australian and he was 39. And he's a ruckman that I love watching, and I think he provides more than just his on-field talents. He's a leader of men. I'm interested to see how it works with Jackson this year, but I've got him at 8. I've got Todd Marshall at 7, and he's coming with a rocket. I watched him so closely this year, and without Dixon there for a lot of the time, and Finlayson didn't work at times, and he was forced to run. He was the main guy. He got the best defender every week, and he kicked 45 goals, and he's still 23 years of age. So I thought he was a terrific pick for Port Adelaide. He was picked at 19 in that draft, but I've got him at 7. Jai Simpkin, you mentioned, won a couple of best and fairest, and is now one of the elite midfielders in the competition, so he's at 6. Tim Taranto was initially 2. I've got him slipping to 5. just behind Tim English at 4. What a great pick he was by the Bulldogs. For some reason, clubs have been a little bit spooked to pick ruckman in drafts,
yep.
but he was the best ruckman in that draft at 19, but now he's 4. Do love Hugh McCluggage. He's building just an incredible record. He's been in the All-Australian squad of 44 times, Gerard. Hasn't made the 22 yet.
Yep. What was he? Pick 3 and you've got him at 3?
Yes, he was pick 3 and I've got him at 3. Tom Stewart at 2. Tom Stewart. He could possibly be my favourite draft pick of all time. So just reading his accolades, All-Australian, there's 4 of them. There's a best and fairest. There's a premiership, of course. So he's at 2.
And he could be captain next year.
And he could be captain next year. And your man, who I think is in the top 5 or 6 players in the competition now and is so young that he will continue to only get better. I've got him at number 1.
So he's gone 28 spots up, 29 to number 1. He's not as good as Stewart, though. He's gone up 38 spots from 40 to 2. English has gone up 15.
Dacos went from 57 to 10.
57 to 10. Does that make him the winner? It does make him the winner. There's a bit of father-son skullduggery there, though, so we don't quite understand exactly the mechanism there. Cox is a beauty, up 32 spots from 41 to number 9, so that's 20. Is that 32? Yeah, that's 32 spots.
Yep.
And Sean Darcy's plus 30 as well.
31.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah, and so some players I haven't. I had a long think about Ridley, who I think is an excellent player, best and fairest winner, as you mentioned. Ben Ainsworth, he's now an elite small forward in the game.
He was
I
pick
don't
4,
say that
wasn't
lightly.
he?
Yeah, and he's a very good player. And he probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but he will start to do that. And Will Hayward, I like him, and I think he should and needs to spend more time in the midfield, and he will improve from there. And we haven't even mentioned the number 1 pick, Andrew McGrath, who has definitely slipped, at least 13 or 14 spots from the initial number 1 selection that he was taken at.
Yeah, I like Andrew McGrath. I think he's going to be a player. I think he'll probably end up as a captain. He may not be the next captain, but I reckon he'll be a captain of that footy club. They've just got to get him back to playing his best. And I think we discussed him as sitting potentially as a halfback. And I think Brad Scott is going to play him there, which to me makes common sense. I think that they've got to share the love with their midfielders and get some distributors across that half-back flank. So that's a pretty good result. But, there's a couple of fails in that top 10 that just haven't gone on. Yeah. Amazing how many players have been to 2 and 3 clubs in a short period of time, over 6 years, and already even top enders. Like Will Setterfield is now at 3 clubs. Tresky Seaton, pick number 6, at 2 clubs. Jack Scrimshaw, the same. Yeah. Griffin Logue, the same. Will Brodie, the same. Jack Bowes, the same. Yeah. There's a hell of a lot of player movement there, and there'll be more, obviously, as they get a bit older.
Ollie Florence, a good player as well. Initially 11, probably not in the top 15 now, but still a player that I like.